Hi, welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about conflicting information and the problem around it in very recent time. So previous videos back in the past, I talked about how in this mystery, there are differing opinions with a range and group of people. And at times there's been resistance and conflict with one another. Don't know why, or it's happened. And here and there you might have had the odd individual that stood out from everyone else in the way they spoke, the information they had, and giving out precise dates and stuff. Like an example, Jean. Jean is an individual who seems to have quite a bit of information and knowledge on the Kenny Veach search. He was supposedly a part of the search and rescue team, and he gave dates and, years. It seemed to make sense. Now, I've always been on the fence because I guess as time goes on and stuff, I don't know if I do truly know people. More to that. So because of that, I've always not really gone all in. Some people might have, other people haven't. But I know there was a range of people, not too many, that were doubting Jean and thought he might have just been lying, pretending to know stuff when he doesn't, getting information from other websites or other people. So yeah, there was suspicion around that. And then there was additional stuff where people did research and found websites and things linked to that individual, which might cover in a future video maybe. But it's more to do right now with a recent video I made, which was covering that newish information by Jean, which was comments left in that video 3 months ago, talking about the backpack, the daughter, the date of the search and rescue, and stuff like that. Now, just recently, one individual who's been a part of the mystery and been involved, they received information themselves from one of the Veach family members, known as Susan Veach. Now, the reason why Susan Veach reached out to that other individual, for that individual to relay it onto me, is because I didn't give away any contact information and stuff, because I find it a bit messy at times, and like I said, aren't always a bit cautious and wary of individuals that just show up here and there out of nowhere. So you'll know what I mean when I did that previous video in the past, because there was confusion and there was suspicion around that individual, Susan Veach. Is it the real person or is it a fake person? I think that was cleared up in the end, that it was actually Susan, but people contacting elsewhere. So I'll just show you the information which Susan Veach has said, which conflicts with what Jean has said. Now, the first bit of conflicting information from what Susan said to what Jean said is Jean originally said about the backpack being found and that the daughter of Kenny believed it was Kenny's backpack. Well, Susan replied and said the daughter, Vicky Veach, knew nothing about the backpack whatsoever. So there you go, that's kind of interesting. I don't know why one says it is and the other one says it isn't. I don't know why Jean would be claiming that's the case, unless Jean, and we can remember, was it the Clark County record thing or something? Maybe he was reading it off from that, or from another news channel which gave off false information. But from what Susan has said, Kenny's daughter knew nothing about the backpack whatsoever. Additionally, Jean said how 4 days after the search of Kenny Veach, he moved on to another place called Carrick Mountains to look for somebody else that went missing. And it was only in April 2015 when Jean returned back to assist the Veach family in a private search. Now, what Susan has said is that no private search with the family ever took place. They didn't go out there and do a private search. So I don't know what's going on there, or why Gene is saying he did a private search with him when that supposedly never happened. So yeah. And the last bit of conflict info is Gene said the initial search took place on the 14th of November, but Susan said the actual search took place on the 17th of November, so a few days afterwards. So once again, Gene gets the dates wrong. I don't know what's going on here. So one thing I forgot to mention was the individual who received the information from Susan. That individual did some kind of name search on some database website of all the people who live in the US, typed in Gene's name and surname from his YouTube username, and could not find any search results, anybody with that name that lives in the US. So yeah, that's kind of weird. You know, you could make arguments there. But I just want to mention one point regarding that, in my opinion, and that is, do we know if that's his real name? Because on YouTube, people might use different usernames, obviously. I mean, Gene Lovkowski does sound like a real name and a surname as well. But from my experience, I have come across people on YouTube with a certain name and a certain surname, and it does sound like that's what they are, that's who they are. And then down the line, I found out, or most obviously, they've told me that that's not their name, but this is their actual name. Maybe that could apply to Gene, and that's why you can't find him, because he's going under a different name in real life. That's a possibility. Just wanted to mention that because I thought it was a valid point. But if you just put that one thing aside and you look at, as said, the conflict and information from Susan Veach and Gene, you've got supposedly an actual Veach family member saying what they know and what they've experienced and gone through, and then an individual who has been a part of this event, supposedly been a part of this family in terms of searching and even doing a private one. At first glance you'd say, well, surely no one can be wrong, because in both positions they've both been involved in some way, because, you know, search rescue, family member, the victims. But the actual information itself are two different things. And because it's on one subject, one individual, really only one or the other can be right and the other one is wrong. And it's trying to determine which one is what. I mean, some people might put the argument across and say Susan is lying because the family's uncooperative or something. That's what some people could say. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying what people have said previously. So yeah, but I think it's more likely that Gene is the one who is wrong, because, you know, people have already been suspicious around Gene due to maybe lack of communication at times, not answering people's questions at times. So more suspicion around him, maybe more likely that Gene is the one not correct. But why? What's the whole point of all this? I don't understand really. As I said, it is messy. It's a bit confusing. You could make the argument and say, what's the whole point of all this? What good has it done? Does it discredit the mystery, Kenny Veach? Does it discredit me? Does it discredit something? I don't know. What it does do, though, I guess it weeds out fake people, certain individuals, exposes maybe some. Does it do much good, though? Does it help solve the mystery? I'm not too sure. I don't think it really adds too much confusion or clutter to it, because it does newer information or people coming in, stepping in, family members coming in and saying it how it is. well, that gets rid of the misinformation, and you don't want misinformation. So if it can be pulled away, that's good. I mean, at the end of the day, maybe not much has happened, but at least not much bad has happened. What it does reveal is, with these odd few people that are fake or making claims, it makes you question why they're doing it. What's the whole point behind it? What good does it do? Are they doing it because there's a deeper reason? We've seen some fake people, as said, quite obvious, maybe childish, case closed. And then the odd individuals that really go at it and go deep and research or make stuff up, which is quite specific in dates and detail. Why are they doing all that? What's the whole point? What good does it do? Or what's going on in their mind? Are they assigned in some way to throw people off the scent? I don't know. It's like a bit of a dead end, because we don't really find out. And talking about dead ends, from experience, when I came across that group called Paranormal, I think it was called, they even got a YouTube channel, and they told me about like the codes and stuff at the time, if you remember, how they were saying, oh, it actually goes quite deep, and it's tied to this and it's tied to that, it's all down to one user responsible, and it links to the country Russia. And I mean, okay. And then down the line, I made that little video, if you remember, about 10 months ago, in that white top, in the dark, talking about Paranormal has reached out and said there's been disturbing evidence and disturbing information found. It will be revealed at a later date when we can reveal it, and we'll let you know, so then you can make a video. Not much happened in the end, so that was a bit of a dead end, a bit of a cliffhanger. Why did that happen? Why was it that individual or that group that showed up out of nowhere saying this and saying that, and then what happened in the end? What was the point? Is it a dead end, or were they fake? Are they like a gene? I don't know. Well, as said, these people showing up here and there. It's kind of like independent people as well. They might have certain information which to withhold, might go and do stuff and not tell anyone, tie it in with the hikers going out there in the desert, who we don't hear about or know about. We might find out later due to changes of the environment or destruction of the land. And that's the only way you find out, maybe. You got some people individually making these websites and stories about the mystery. As you've seen some of the websites, they do it themselves, don't really tell anyone, but they make them. What's the point? And some of that information, and some of those websites are fake, or don't quite make much sense. I think one of the websites saying how the channel disabled its comments, Kenny's video, all the comments were disabled for a certain point in time. I don't know if that's true or not, because I wasn't around back then, but I don't remember hearing anything like that before. So where did that come from? Yeah, whether it's big information or small information, what is the actual point to it? I don't understand. So yeah, I think you piece it all together. It's a bit of a mess. I guess we'll see what happens next. If there's any updates or if there's any response back. Could there be resistance? Well, yeah, at any point there could be. At this moment in time, just adding on to what's been said recently. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.